Part two. Let's try that again. I don't know what the hell went wrong there. That was absolutely bizarre. I never normally have issues with StreamYard. That was a bizarre one. That was a strange one. Let's get a few people in once again, and we will pick up from where we left off, which was nowhere really, but we'll give it a go again. So wait for a few people to join. Fury versus Whyte. Someone asked me at the end of the attempted stream, that's what we'll call it, how do I reckon Whyte, what will I reckon Whyte will do? Well, I'm already thinking ahead, mate. I'm already thinking ahead. That's what I do. That's my job. You got to think ahead. You got to put your mind in some of these and think of situations. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Whyte calls it a day. Lest we forget, like he is a multi millionaire. I know he's never won a world title, but Dillian Whyte is still a multi millionaire. We can't forget about that. Like we can't just pretend that he's not done an absolute bomb in his career. He has. So Dillian Whyte, I reckon if he carries on, I don't think he's going to go back to Hearn. Can't see it. Can't see him going back to Eddie Hearn anytime soon. I think that Eddie Hearn was he even? I seen pictures that he was at the arena, that he was at the event, but he wasn't near ringside. So I reckon Dillian Whyte. That's twice now that's happened with Eddie Hearn and like not Dillian Whyte, but Billy Joe Saunders. It's happened. It's like if he's not fully committed to that fight, or even if the fighter is making money, but he thinks like, oh, there might be something elsewhere, or they might not be in it for the long haul, he tends to just kind of up sticks. What did I think? I thought that Fury boxed brilliantly, mate. I did. I thought he boxed out of his skin. He really did. What I'm gonna do, right, in this stream, obviously, we're getting a few more people in, but I talked about it in the last stream. I'm gonna talk about it in this one as well. I made a howler on the pick. I got this one way wrong. I want to know what the subs thought of the fight. So what I'm thinking of doing is when the numbers get into the 50-60 bracket or in around that, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if anyone wants to hop on and have a quick chat. 5 minutes, no more, no less with people. And ideally, if you have cameras like on your phones plugged in, if you could, if you use StreamYard, have a camera plugged in. So that's the plan. Once we get into the like kind of 40, 50, 60 kind of a bracket, so smash the like button, share the video if you could as well. But I'll let a few of the subs come on. And if you want to say, gee, I told you so, it's your chance. You're more than welcome to. You can tell me, gee, I told you so. I told you were wrong. I told you were, keep it respectful, obviously, but you can say it. Told you, G. Told you. So we get a few more in, and then I'll pop a link in for anyone who wants to come on. As I said, it's going to be one at a time. If you have a camera, ideally on your phone, switch it on. If you don't, it's no big deal, but ideally I'd rather see the people I'm chatting with. But big up to TJ, Tommy, GGG Fury. Yeah, he looked, it was what it was with him. That's going to be interesting. Fury didn't do much when Dillian Whyte was in the southpaw stance. He didn't really commit to anything when Whyte was fighting southpaw. So that'd be interesting to see. And Usyk is like next level southpaw. Chisora put his house on Whyte. Yeah, well, I didn't bet on that fight, right? I don't bet. So thank God I didn't put anything major on it. What was going on tonight? Yeah, like honestly, Dillian Whyte needs to retire, not Fury. Honest to God, like it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. How just I genuinely thought Dillian Whyte after everything would have given his all in there, but it was just was bizarre. Like I genuinely thought he'd have the bit between his teeth, feeling that he was shortchanged, feeling everything that like he would let that all flow out. But boy, he didn't. Oh Jesus, mate! Don't be telling me that. Don't be telling me that. Don't be telling me that. Now we even see a stadium from our hotel room with the Premier Inn. Absolutely good for Dillian Whyte. Yeah, look, I got my pick way wrong. Fury said Fury Chisora is now homeless. That's yeah. At least AJ came after beating these two. At least AJ came after her beating these two. These last two are different. Pro boxers shouldn't be getting some punches landed so cleanly in footwork. Dylan White's footwork was horrible. You're a bit quiet. Can you turn the volume up? Is it down low? Oh, it might be. Give me a sec. Is that better? Should be a bit better now. Let me have a listen. I think that should be a bit better now. Let me have a quick check. Yeah, I think that sounded a bit better there, mate. The reason why I have these headphones in, I know they're not the loudest. A bit quiet. Why is it being quiet? Like, let's just. That should be a bit better there. I'd hope. I would hope anyway. Let's see. I can plug the normal mic in, but the only reason why I don't want to is because right there, I'm gonna pop this in. All right, that link there, before the in the building. If anyone wants to come on, one at a time, for about 5 minutes, right? Hop on that link. You're more than welcome to come on. Let me know. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know some of the 43 we have in the building. I want to know what your thoughts on this fight were. Ideally, if you have a camera, switch it on. We'll do about 5 minutes. If people want to come on, give their 2 cents, have a quick chat, you're more than welcome. The link is there. As I said, if you just one at a time, we can hear you. Yeah. The same mic I was using in the watch along. It's just the headphones. Hang on a sec. Yeah, it sounds all right there. Maybe I'll need to just talk up a little bit more. Is okay now, Grant. Why did White look so tired early on? Well, some people were saying that he was lifting weights in the changing rooms. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster right there. I said in my post-fight review that Dillian White weighed that amount before. He's weighed heavier than that before, and he looked a lot more muscly in that fight, in this fight anyway, than he did in previous fights. Looked a good bit more muscly, and I'm just wondering, has he put the muscle on too quick as well? Has he just decided, you know what, the hell with it, I'm just going to chuck the size on and then I'm going to be good to go? Has he done that? Maybe. So maybe his body, his just lungs just weren't ready for it. So I don't know. 52 in the build and big up. A link there if anyone wants to jump on. Let me know their thoughts on it. Like I said, try and give a few people if they want to hop on 5 minutes, have a chat, and ideally if you have your camera on, let us know. Let me know your thoughts. White's punch resistance is gone. Yep. It was a good uppercut, but White shots, my God. Fergie, what a performance from White. Yeah, it was a great performance. The uppercut didn't seem to make a clean contact, but White went down like Spuds. Yeah. No, it made clean enough contact. It was a good enough shot from Fury, but mate, all those wars have hammered Dillian White and dragged his cognitive motor skills. Yeah, that's. I think that out of Dillian, in reality, like Dillian White did the right thing not taking that fight. Chances are he'd have got bet by Oliver Lean based on that performance. Because you got to figure, right? He came straight back after that Povetkin loss. So with Dillian White in the Oliver Lean fight, he wouldn't have been 100%. So he had an extra 6 months to prepare to dust off the cobwebs, and that still wasn't enough to even look semi decent. So against Verlaine, that really could have gone bad. Like that could have gone bad really, really, really quick, really quickly. That uppercut didn't seem to make clean contact, but White went down like a sack of spuds. Yep. All right. Who wants to join? Got a guest on here. Okay. Yeah, all right, mate. You in? Let's see. There we go. There we go. Just waiting for Matthew to join. I wonder is he having internet problems. A big up to Matthew whenever he joins in, get his opinion on it. And again, I have the link up here. So if anyone else wants to come on, they're free to. And like I said, a few minutes, hop on. Okay, I think we lost Matt. Yeah, I think we lost Maddie. So yeah, if anyone else, there's a link there. So if you want to hop on, have a chat, 5 minutes or so, come on, we'll have a chat about this. And if you're one of those people who thought I was mad for backing Dillian Whyte to win, feel free to let me know. Let's try take two. I hope it's not anything on my end, because I feel like a prick now. If he can't get on, it's my fault. Great. I hope White retires. He could end up seriously damaged from the fight. Yeah, man. I think of the amount of beatings he's taken. Think of the amount of beatings he's taken. What I'll do there is right there. So there's a private chat there for Matt if he wants to have a look at that. Because if he wants to just rejoin and try it again, he's more than welcome. See. Yeah, all right, mate. How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good. Well, as good as good can be. I got that pick way wrong. Probably one of the worst I've done.
Mate, I've been watching this channel for years. I'm pleased to be on, finally.
Nah, man. Anytime, mate. I feel bad. Like, we have a guy in the middle trying to get on. I don't think his connection's letting him on. And I was worried it was mine. But, like, I feel bad for him now that he can't get on as well. But what did you make of the fight? What did you think?
I thought it was a masterclass. Superb. Incredible. I mean, really, really exceptional. I think he's right up there. I mean, that was, if Floyd Mayweather would have produced that, you'd said this guy's one of the best ever. The guy, that was absolutely superb. You can't, and I thought Whyte, I didn't tip Whyte to win. I thought Whyte would be competitive. And I thought
most
I was
people
always
said
going
that.
to be his power. That was magnificent by anyone's standards. That was an incredible performance, right up there.
I was saying that in the 270s, Fury might like that weight, but I think it's a bit too heavy. Do you think 260s is his optimum weight?
Well,
He has his legs and his power.
Well, the thing is, the narrative was wrong because going into the fight, they said, "Oh, Fury's dropped weight." He didn't. He came in the previous fight. He came in overweight. Okay.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
What he did this time was he came in the weight. He came in for the second. He came the same weight as he came in the second fight for Wilder, which is the correct weight. So he came in bang on, and you're completely correct. That is the correct weight for Fury, but he didn't come underweight. He didn't come in underweight. He came in at the right weight.
Mm-hmm. He did something similar against Schwartz, and he was rejuvenated in that fight at the similar weight.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, hand on my heart, thought Whyte would win. It wasn't just a pick to be different. I genuinely, looking at it, I was thinking, he can do this. But the way Fury was able to just shut down everything, and he was able to expose the poor balance of Dillian Whyte, his judge at distance. It was phenomenal to watch. Like, I worried about Fury.
Do you know who he reminded me of tonight? Terence Crawford.
Really?
Yeah. The way he just, early on, he took whatever he had and just picked him apart and took him out. It was, honestly, that was serious stuff. Very impressive.
Based off that performance, the winner of AJ Usyk, whether it be AJ Usyk, how do you see it?
Well, I fancy Usyk. I fancy Usyk to win that. You've got to go Fury, but Usyk has to be respected because, he's a skillful guy. Usyk offers something different. Now, I do favour Fury, but Usyk offers something different. He's quicker. So I'll sit up. He's quicker than Fury. As a smaller guy, he maybe a fitter. I think technically he edges him marginally, not much in it, but obviously Fury has massive advantages. But, Usyk has to be respected, but I mean, Fury can't walk away before the undisputed fight.
No.
He cannot. He just can't.
Do you know something? I think a performance like that, if there was any doubts that he was going to maybe call it a day, I think in his mind, I think it's gone after that. I think after that performance, even to him, he's like, I've got loads left. These aren't going to beat me.
But that was his best ever performance. He was never been as good as that. That was sensational stuff. Like it was. You can't. What can you say against them? You cannot. No. There's not a word you can say against that performance. That was as good as it gets.
It makes me feel like it does, but it makes me feel like all the work I've done, like the three things to Fury, and he goes and puts a career best. Is like, well, that's I must do that now for fighters more. Find 3 reasons why they lose, and then see if they do a career best.
But I didn't. I did go Fury, but Whyte impressed me all week with his demeanor, his confidence.
Oh yeah.
And I thought to myself, this guy's got, and he's got his power. I thought this fella's a live underdog, and he just took it away from him. That was
phenomenal.
It was. You can't. You've got to call a spade a spade. That was great stuff. Now, Usyk is different. Now, I do pick Fury to win that, but Usyk,
it's a tricky fight.
Usyk's superb in his own right, and he does offer something different. But Fury can't walk away, surely. I mean, he's got to. If he can't,
I think a fight like that will rejuvenate him. And I think if he'd have fought Wilder in 2020, if everything had been normal, we wouldn't have seen a Fury like we did last year. I think when he performs like that, it rejuvenates him. And I think he needs to push on.
Yeah. But the other, but one thing, the thing that makes Fury special and unique is that he can fight on multiple styles. He can go backwards and go forwards. He can be aggressive. He can tie people up. He can do many, many different things. But there's no question that Sugar Hill has improved his power. There's a technical improvement there, and that's a big extra thing he had in his. All right, he ain't got Wilder power, but he can punch. Like, he's a serious puncher.
He's unlocking the power that was always there. Just now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing it, mate. I have 2 people waiting to go in. Thanks a million for dropping on. I don't appreciate make you feel like I'm pushing.
Glad to get on. No, thank you so much. Appreciate the chance. Cheers, man.
Any chance, man.
Cheers.
And there's a link there for anyone else who wants to drop on. Ideally, if you've got a camera, let's get TJ on. You all right, mate?
G-Man.
What's the crack? How are you, mate?
What's the crack? Oh, I love these UK fights because over here it's on at like 5-6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, you don't know what we have to put up with when the fights are on over there.
Yeah,
for Canelo,
heard.
I'm trying to judge what Canelo time I'm going to do that watch along on. I'm like, will I do it at 2, or will that be too long, or will I do it at 3? It's a pain. It's a pain.
Oh, yeah. But listen, G-Man, I've been following you for a while. I think you know that. And I'm not surprised at all how this fight went. I called it. I didn't rate Whyte. I'm surprised by your pick, man. I don't mean to break balls. That was out of left field.
Come on.
I've been telling boxing heads. I consider you a boxing head like myself. We don't just love boxing. Like, we study styles, we study fights. And I haven't rated Whyte for a long time. He struggles with everybody. This guy, besides take away the knockout from AJ, the knockout with Povetkin, this guy's struggling with Oscar Rivas. This guy's struggling with Chisora. He was losing against Chisora until he knocked him out. I mean, I don't know. Even with Parker, he was struggling with Parker. He doesn't dominate anybody. But in Fury, to me, Fury's the complete package. It's also like coming up to fight week. I was trying to explain it because this fight just happened between Spence and Ugas. Like, I was telling people, don't get fooled by Ugas's win off of a 43-year-old Pacquiao that was inactive for 2 years. Spence is on a different level, man. Spence is elite. Ugas is great, just like Dillian Whyte. But Fury is elite, and they're going to show the difference in the ring. There's levels to it. Spence does everything better than Ugas. Just like, pretty much, besides that left hook, Fury does everything better. How do you win? You're not going to outbox Fury. I was like, am I gonna bet that Dillian Whyte might land a punch against him when he survived, the hardest hitting, puncher 3 times in Deontay Wilder? But the fight now, it's got to be Usyk. The winner of AJ Usyk and Fury. Yeah,
it has to be. What else is there? I mean, Fury, obviously, I'm sure the talk of him retiring, I don't know, real or not, I don't know. But a performance like that, that's going to motivate him to just keep going. In no doubt in my mind.
It has to, right?
It has to. I mean,
he'll go down as one of the greats. He could surpass. Personally, I think he could surpass Lennox Lewis if he were to fight AJ and Usyk and beat them both and go out unbeaten.
Oh man,
that would be a great conversation piece because with a feather in his cap.
What do you make of Dillian Whyte? What do you think he's going to have to do? Do you think that's it for him, or do you think that he's going to carry it on and maybe just seek out one final payday?
Well, like an Amir Khan or a Kell Brook, he uses his name for a payday. People love him. He leaves his, his heart. He goes out in his shield like a Derek Chisora. Even though he loses, people love to come out and watch him fight. You know, he gives it
Mhm.
all. He's all heart and guts. I mean, I would love to see a Dillian Whyte Wilder fight. You know,
It's as a fight I'd still like to see because I think that fight would make sense. I think you could still sell that fight because both guys coming off losses to Fury, both guys near the end. They've got the beef from years back. I think that fight would still certainly in the UK you'd sell that fight. Whether Wilder would come to the UK is another story.
Andy Ruiz Jr. That would be a great fight.
I'd still make Andy. I've always felt Ruiz beats Whyte. Always felt that Ruiz beats Whyte.
Fastest hands in heavyweight boxing.
I think he'd light Dillian Whyte up. He'd counter him to death. I always felt that style would be bad for Dillian Whyte, a Ruiz.
And he's so durable. You know, he's got that Mexican chin. You know, he took AJ's best shots. So I could see a problem. I still would love to see it.
Don't get me wrong, there's still good fights, but I'll tell you one thing I think is going to happen with Dillian Whyte. I think he's leaving Eddie Hearn. I think he's going with either Shalom or he's going with Warren moving forward. I think Eddie Hearn and him that ship sailed.
Yeah, you know who AJ should have. If AJ had Fury's trainer, I think that's what he needs going into that Usyk fight.
He does. I think that Sugar Kronk style would suit AJ, but that never going to happen. And I think AJ's loyalty. I mean, he's literally. I'm changing the training camp. I'm just promoting one guy. I'm not bringing. Well, to be fair, he's brought Bashir in, but it's still fundamentally the same team.
Yeah. Before I go, let me just ask you: how do you see the Shakur Valdez fight going next week?
Shakur by stoppage.
Stoppage, yeah.
Stoppage.
I think you're onto something.
Late stoppage. I'm telling you now, that kid is talented. I mean, when he turned over, I thought he hadn't got his man strength when he turned over. Now he has it, and every fight he is just getting better and better. Like honestly, like if he went to 135, Kambosos, Devin, Ryan, I'd pick him over all them. Honestly, that's how much I rate Shakur. He's really coming into it.
At 135?
At 135.
I wouldn't bet. I would never bet against Shakur at 135. Yeah.
I'm telling you now, watch this fight next week. He is gonna. Valdez is a good fighter, but he is gonna get battered from pillar to post. No doubt. Late stoppage.
That's a statement right there. All right, G-Man. I'll talk to you, man.
Peace, man. Enjoy it. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, all right, mate. What's the crack? How are you?
Is that me you're talking to, G-Man?
Yeah, man.
You good? Am I on the stream?
You're on the stream,
I'm overwhelmed with despair, man, because I had the same prediction as you. I had the same one. I did the video first. I thought that Fury would, knock him about a bit with the long jab and stuff in the early rounds. But I really thought that later on, I thought Dillian could last. I thought he could, just hang in there. And later on, maybe Fury might get a little bit sloppy, maybe even start mocking Dillian, like sticking out his tongue and putting his hands on his back and all that crack. And he didn't do it. I couldn't believe the knockout when it came. And the reason why I'm gutted, man, is because I'm trying to get my daughter into boxing. She's heavy. She's a heavy hitter. She's only 11. Punch is really heavy. But if you poke her, she'll burst into tears. And I'm trying to get into it. And she was really up for it, hyping up all day. And there was no fire. There was no fight. It was a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah. That's what we all expected. I think even the people picking Tyson Fury, majority of them would have thought that, look, it's going to be Fury will have his moments, Dillian Whyte will have his moments, and it'll be competitive. Yeah. But this was just one-sided. This was like Wilder.
It was one-sided beatdown. How'd you go? It was worse than that, man. It was worse than that. It was a lot worse than that. Fury in the second fight was the way, he really had to grapple with Wilder, and he really, he was on his A game, and he was on his A game here, but it was easy. He cruised it. Yeah. And there's me telling my daughter, it's going to be an amazing fight. It's going to be fireworks. And I'm just gutted. It's a letdown for boxing. I really feel that I'm really annoyed. I can't believe it. I feel like an idiot. I've come out on my channel, I've done the video before yours came out. Then I redid it after I heard yours. And okay, I only have like 36 subscribers, but hey, you got millions, whatever you have. But I feel like a muppet because I had it totally wrong. I really thought that. Come on, did you even see a left hook land?
No,
Did you see a single one?
He barely threw that punch, and when he did, Fury had a telegraph to a T. Literally, he seen that shot coming a mile away.
They were miles off, weren't they? And
yeah, his timing was completely off.
I didn't see him jabbing his way inside.
No.
I didn't see any of that grappling on the inside. I thought that Dillian could like get on the inside and rough him up a bit. Okay, he rabbit punched him a few times, which, you know, I guess that's not a bad idea. Even that punch, though, would you just say that Dillian's punch resistance is gone?
Shot to pieces.
Because
like there was a moment, I think it was the third round.
Was that a heavy punch?
It wasn't the heaviest punch, but there was even a moment in the third round where a right hand just glanced Dillian Whyte. Didn't land flush. He blocked most of it, but his legs still buckled. And I'm thinking,
I didn't notice that, to be honest, mate.
If you're getting buckled by partially landing shots, that's not a good sign. I know Fury hits harder than people give him credit for, but if it's not, he's not Wilder. If that was Wilder, yeah, fair enough, but not Fury.
I mean, the punch that finished him, I couldn't believe it, because I'll be honest, I'm there with my daughter who's 11, and as I say, you know, this is like the first big fight. You know, she's more into girly boxing, but you know, this is the first like man fight she's watched. You know, and it just, I wanted a war, I wanted fireworks, and there was none of it. I'm let down. And that punch, there's no backswing. It comes from a funny angle. I mean, it's kind of half a bolo punch. It's not a true uppercut. It's not a true right cross. It is a funny angle. And I guess Dillian just didn't see it, did he?
I think he's seen it at the very last minute because you could see him in the replay. He kind of closed his eyes, knew like, "Ooh, it's coming," and that, but didn't make a difference.
Didn't have time to brace either way.
Didn't have time to brace either way.
Down. It just didn't look hard. There was no backswing. He didn't really put his body into it. I mean, it looked like, you know, okay, look, I'm not a boxing technician like you are, but to me, it's like it didn't seem that hard. I couldn't believe that Dillian couldn't recover from that. I think his punch resistance is gone. And I was saying this beforehand. Pardon, sorry?
I said, believe me, a lot of shots you see that knock guys down, they might not look like much, but believe me, when you look at technique, like I'll have a look at that now after this, and like look at the way Fury positioned himself, and I guarantee I'll be able to look at that and say, actually, yeah, that probably was harder than it. It doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of power on that shot.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been punched by a heavyweight. I've been, you know, punched by a 10-year-old at school, and I've been able to knock them out. You know, that's a bit different to being punched by a Fury. But, you know, but to be honest, it's oh man, it's like yeah, the way he was stumbling around, it was correct stoppage. I mean, you can't argue with that, you know.
No.
But I was surprised. And yeah, the lack of backlift, it was a funny angle, you know, the way it wasn't true up. It wasn't like he sort of got down and got the shoulder up, you know, ripped up, you know, there was no backswing. It came out of the blue. I mean, I was just chatting to my daughter and saying, you know, come on, we're waiting for a deal to like really get stuck in here, get jabbing inside. And next minute he's out the fight. And, you know, that's all she wrote. I was really, I was disappointed, I'll be honest, because the undercard was obviously rubbish. You know, absolutely terrible. I wish now I just illegally streamed it, quite frankly. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on your channel or not, but I really wish I had, because to me, that was not worth £20. I'm really disappointed. I just thought he'd give a better account of himself. I mean, I was watching, the thing was, right, did you watch, G-Man, did you watch the interview that Dillian Whyte did on the jet, you know, when he's coming over the private jet? No. So apparently when he was younger, he actually was shot in the head. Literally with a gun, shot in the head. Background. Yeah, he was shot in the head. And there's lots of, I don't know, he didn't go into details, but there's lots of accounts of like 22 rounds, which obviously really, I mean, I've got 22 myself, they're really tiny rounds, bouncing off the skull. But you've got to wonder, you know, has he always had an issue with his chin? I mean, I don't know. I know we all say that AJ cracked it and, you know, Povetkin cracked it. But maybe the fact he was shot in the head when he was 15 might not help, you know, because I don't think that most fighters would have gone down from that punch. I do think he looked a little soft. So I've been really confused by the camera angle because it's not mirrored like most. I promise it's really confused me. I don't know
No, easy. What I will do is I'm going to have a look at that punch and just the way he set it up after this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that link back in there again, mate, because I'm going to see if a few more want to pop on. But appreciate you coming on, mate, and giving me some insight into
okay,
it.
well, good to talk to you, bro. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go to bed now. Why? I'm going to go to bed disappointed. But anyway, take care, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Mate, all the best. And I'll post that back in the chat as well. There's 188 in the chat. So, again, a bit like we saw there, if anyone wants to pop on, you're more than welcome. It's in the chat.
Krabby Temptations. I've only got 36 subscribers. Give me a few more.
There you go,
plug
man.
That. Take care, bro. Anyway, take care.
Man.
Thank you.
Anytime, man.
Thank
all
you.
The best, man.
Bye-bye.
Yes, mate. How are we? How are we doing? Finally on. You all right, mate? Can you hear that?
Hey, bro.
How's things, mate? What's up? Well, you can hear you fine, so it's all right. Dude. How are you, mate? How are you?
Give me a second.
You all right?
Hello there.
Yeah, we're good, mate. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Just fine.
Okay, dude.
I can hear you, see you. Everything's good.
Yeah, I'm actually I was the person who spoke to you earlier. I'm actually right at Wembley Stadium right now.
Oh, you're at Wembley Stadium.
I don't know how much of this is going to get. Yeah, this is a bit of an errant connection to say the least. So I'll just say my piece now. I really backed Dillian Whyte. I was expecting him to pull off the upset. When you made your prediction in the video, that really kind of resonated with me. But what kind of showed up on the night was an underperformance. So my brother, who's with me, actually said that, perhaps... What, you going to say that? Sorry, dude?
Making me feel guilty now. I swayed your opinion.
Dude, I can't hit anything. This is terrible. Like, sorry, dude.
No worries, mate. I think we lost him. But big up to Matty at the fights. I seen someone in the chat, and I can't wait to get him on. And I'd say Matt is probably gone now, but big up to my friend. How are we?
How's it going, mate? Hopefully my connection's holding out a little bit more than Matthew's now. So
yours is holding out fine, so I'm waiting for the I told you. I'm waiting for the I told you so.
Nah, I don't like that. I'll be honest, it was when I first thought of Fury Whyte and my kind of original thoughts on the fight, it played out like that. It didn't play out how I sort of felt about the fight a lot closer to it happening. Despite the fact that I thought Whyte was going to win, obviously. But yeah, it's kind of it was a weird fight. I thought, when me and you spoke, and obviously we spoke to Ade as well, we both said that we thought Dillian would give it some, and he didn't really give it any. I thought he was just a bit disappointing overall in the fight, to be honest. And it wasn't one of those ones. I've seen some people say it was a good performance by Fury. I think he did what he needed to do, so I'm not taking any credit away. And the shot was beautiful, and you can see some of the things Sugar Hill's done. But yeah, on a sort of overall scale, I didn't think he looked great either, in just my opinion. But yeah, he got it done.
You said in your stream that in hindsight, if White had a fought Dillian back in October, I mean, I don't think he would have beaten him. I think he had an extra 6 months to prepare for this fight, and he still looked terrible. I was kind of watching. I was like, you're kind of anticipating something's going to happen, and it never was. He just never looked like winning this. He never looked like he was in it. It's like everything that made Dillian Whyte him, jabbing his way in, the straight or the left hook, it was just gone. It wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, when we say about the Varlin fight, we're not trying to be clever after the facts. He physically just didn't look like he could compete at that level at all. And I think, going back 6 months wouldn't have changed that. I think everything that's kind of caught up with him now, he just looked leggy. I thought he would at least give it some sort of go. I thought he massively overthought the southpaw thing. The way he came out.
I was like, what?
the way he came out in the first round and decided, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to go southpaw. It was like in the changing room. He saw on the TV Fury doing the pad work and thought, oh no, I'm gonna have to come out at southpaw here and do something weird. But listen, Tyson Fury was like, I thought, he did exactly what he needed to do. I didn't think he looked quite as fresh as he used to. I still think his better days are behind him, but he proved that he still levels above that level of Dillian Whyte, and the shot was beautiful.
As good as I thought Fury looked quite good in there now, to be fair, but I still maintain that he will stick around, and that performance will, I'd say, convince him to keep going. But I still do think we're at the twilight of his career. Like, I don't expect him. If people tell me like he'll be around 3 years now, I'm like, no way. I think we're in probably the last 12 to 18 months of Fury, realistically.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm not saying, when I say, like, I didn't say it was a bad performance or anything like that. Like I say, it was a good performance on the whole. I'm just saying he doesn't look as twitchy or as quick as he once did. And that's fine. Like, he's getting on. He's obviously had a couple of years as well where he didn't live the life. So that will catch up with you. And he's still absolutely, I'd make him the favourite against most heavyweights. So it hasn't changed my opinion of him at all. I just thought that tonight they're sort of did, the retirement talk I said to you separately, like I haven't sort of believed it. That I did get an element tonight of he's more content now with retirement than he's ever been. I kind of thought the ring walk, he soaked it in a lot more than he usually did. Obviously, it was a long, drawn out ring walk, and just sort of the fight and everything. And afterwards, I do feel like he's more content now with retiring than he'll probably ever will be. And I think it will take Anthony Joshua to really keep him out of it. I don't think the Usyk thing sort of motivates him at this stage either. I think the only thing that would sort of get him out of bed at this point would be AJ.
And I think even if he loses to AJ, he'd still want that fight. Or
sorry,
exactly. Loses to Usyk, he'd still want that fight.
Yeah,
he'd still probably prioritise that. You might say like, "Oh, I want others," but he'd prioritise that. What do you think about Dillian Whyte now? I reckon he's done with Eddie Hearn. I reckon he's got a fight on, but I can't see him on his own. I think that's a fighter Eddie Hearn can say ticked off the box.
Yeah. I think Ben Shalom and Adam Smith will still take a look though, because they're stable. Don't get me wrong, they're doing a good job now putting a schedule together, but they still need names. They still need people, and apparently they tried to get like Chisora for Hughie Fury and that sort of thing. I think Dillian now becomes a Hughie Fury type opponent sort of thing, and they'll pay him well. So
I think if Frank Warren hasn't burned a bridge, there's a good chance, because I reckon Warren will be thinking, Daniel, WB after he gets by Brian, which we all expect him to, or the winner of Joe. I had to laugh, right? I didn't realize, because obviously I'm watching it with no sound. I didn't realize that he announced Joyce Parker, but no date. I was like, what is the point in that? Like, I was legit looking at it thinking, oh, we're getting the fight now. And he's just like, it's all but signed. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, you had to announce it like that. Desperately reaching for any kind of fight. But man,
can you hear something playing?
Yeah, playing. Is that you?
Yeah, I'll leave because something's playing on my laptop. I don't know what it is, so I'll jump off. But thanks for having me, G.
No worries, mate. Appreciate it. I'll chat to you during the week, mate. Been lively tonight. My man, how are we?
Hey, how's it going? Greetings.
What's the crack? How are you, mate? What do you think?
No, lekker.
What did you think of the fight?
I thought it was a cracker. I actually really enjoyed it. It was one of those where I think we've, over the years, built Dillian up a little bit much, and this just kind of showed that there were levels to this game.
I was saying it after, and I do think this is one of the reasons why I did pick Dillian Whyte. When you watch and you look for, because I spent more time looking for flaws in Fury than I did for Whyte, and I think that kind of swayed it. And the documentary I did, seeing the bit of Dillian Whyte, what he's come from, I think all that kind of swayed. I'm not defending my pick, but I think that kind of swayed it in Dillian Whyte's favor. And now I'm like, shit, that's up there with one of the worst I've done.
Yeah, no, look, I had Fury, so I picked Fury, but I thought it was going to be a hard fight. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I thought it was really going to be hard. And about midway through the second round, I was like, oh, wait, Fury seems to be picking him off quite easily. And I think the matchmaking though, as well, which was a concern for me, because if you look at Dillian's matchmaking, they always put him with shorter opponents. I mean, The only taller guys he's fought is Wach and Hellenius. And Hellenius took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, though, so it was a very short turnaround there. And I think there's a reason matchmakers pick opponents for their fighters.
I know, and again, I was saying to Jamie, like, Otto Dillian would have actually been a very good opponent to get him ready for Tyson Fury. But looking back with the benefit of hindsight, like, this Dillian Whyte did not look himself at all. But 6 months prior, it wouldn't have changed things, and that fight becomes a lot harder. So you're kind of thinking, like, he was stuck. You kind of think it's a rock in a hard place. Like, you don't want to risk him getting knocked out or beat again, but you want this Fury fight. It was really, I remember. There was a rumor going around before this fight was announced that Hearn was offering Whyte a deal to stay on the zone with big money fights. And I wonder now, is he looking back thinking, I should have just took that. I should have just took the 2-fight deal, because I probably would have got well paid and won them fights rather than get knocked out in front of 9,000.
Yeah, I also wonder that. And I think, like, you know, Dillian's gone down this WBC route. He's waited so long. He's made so much noise about this. And after all of this,
he's missed his chance.
Yeah, I also do.
He's wasted years chasing a title when he could have had a different time, when he could have looked and gone down a different road. There was different avenues. I know AJ, we all would have picked him over AJ, but look, stranger things have happened. Yeah. It's just look, it's crazy. And people are saying in the chat, like, Whyte by knockout. Yes, I know, I got this way wrong. Yes, I know. But overall, what did you think of the show itself, mate?
I actually quite liked it. So I was watching on an ESPN stream, and if I'm honest, it looked a bit cheap from where I was looking, but it was nice for me. It was reminiscent of, like, the 90s almost being brought into the 21st century. So, like, I could see a lot of things there where I was like, I remember boxing like this growing up, you know, the camera panning down like that. But I
personally enjoyed it. I couldn't have faulted BT Sport. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the build-up was, look, it was lacking, but when we got the fight week, it was better. And, like, I personally, I thought I enjoyed it. I liked the banter between the commentators, and the banter between the pundits. I was watching it, like, bits I couldn't hear at the end, you know, before I came on here, and I was like, that they're doing a good. The team is good. They're doing a good job with it. And I think Frank Warren, he's probably going to have that smile on his face now for the next 6 months. He's got George Parker to look forward to. He's going to be working with Fury. I'd say he probably feels like he could take another bullet and come walking out of the hospital again.
Yeah, no, I think Warren is going to be chuffed as cheese.
We're still there.
Yes, yeah. I think it's breaking up a bit.
I think, he's new lease of life, but mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was going to say, great having you on. I'm going to have a few little more comments and then probably call it, but appreciate you coming on. I hope you enjoyed it.
Shot, man, and thanks for the show and the documentary. It was brilliant.
Barely making it. Anytime.
Cheers.
I appreciate it. We've got more to come, babe. Have no fear. We've more to come. No fears. Appreciate you coming on. And if anyone else is in the chat, I'm probably going to do another 10 minutes or so. So if anyone wants to hop on, ideally, if you've got a camera there, we should be good to go. So, oh yeah, here we go. Can't wait to hear Hearn's interview. It's going to be, I wonder what he's going to say. I wonder what he say he was on the Matchroom show. We shall see. How many pay-per-view buys? I reckon it would have done all right. It would have done all right. There's 163 in the building, and we only 52 live. I think I'm going to call it quits here. So, people, I appreciate that. All for dropping in. We had good fun. Here. People, I think I'm going to leave it there.